everyone. I hope you all are doing good this Saturday morning. Welcome to another introductory IT training session at Guru Schools. My name is Dev Karlekar, and I sincerely thank you all for investing your time today to get an overview of the Python data science with machine learning course, which is an introductory overview session. Okay. What a data scientist or what the Python data scientist people in general do in corporate America or in IT profession is what you will get a bird's eye view today. Okay, this is one of our niche offering. We do it barely 2 times in a year or 3 times in a year. Simply reason, it's very exhaustive track. It's very hot and very high in demand. It's very unique. Just the reason being, it's emerging, it's evolving. And because it's unique and niche, for those who are looking to work on emerging futuristic technology, for those who are looking to make $250,000 a year, for those who really wants to have that appetite for learning new things, this is the course for them. So if I were to phrase it in 2 ways, what's the prerequisite? Ideally, the prerequisite will be people who have some prior experience working on SQL database side. That's going to be much easy for them to catch up. Otherwise, no one learns everything in mother's womb, right? Life is a journey of learning new things, unlearning old things, and relearning the most important things. So all we need is an open mind, which is the prerequisite, the willingness to learn, and having a fire in the belly to make that 6-figure salary. It's not only a mere 6-figure salary, it is between 150 to 300,000, and you will see that in the subsequent slides. So for those who have joined, please be muted during the session. As and when the trainer asks you a question, you may unmute and ask a question. If you don't have a question, stay muted. Towards the end of the session, again, we will have a questions and answer session, so you may ask your questions at that point of time. Now, let me give you a backdrop of Guru Schools, www.guruschools.com. It's a modern marketplace in the form of the ancient Gurukul or the ashram, which we used to have, where you go to become a fine man or a woman. We strongly believe education is that one strength. Once it comes to you, it stays forever with you. And the only feature it has is growing by sharing. So the more you share, the more it grows. What we do at Guru Schools, we bring the world-class information technology education to the ambitious people such as yours, giving them a blend of theoretical and practical training and project experience. For many, especially in this class, will be lateral and experienced IT professionals, meaning people who have prior experience working in IT. For them, this will be viewed as upskilling themselves, in a sense, learning new things, unlearning old things, unwanted things, and relearning things which are important. Okay, to learn and relearning the emerging technologies, right? That's the need of the hour. The technology landscape changes practically every few quarters, and we have to adhere ourselves. So those who are okay with the change and love that change, it's a great opportunity them to get into this track. At Guru Schools, you'll often hear the word our 6 pillars of offering, and I just want to tell you what those 6 pillars of our career employment focused job placement offering are. Number one is our formal training course. Now, most of our training courses are 6 weeks, but let me tell you, Python data science I have seen going to 8 weeks, sometimes to 10 weeks also. Depends upon how robust appetite these students have and how much deep they want to go about. Okay, but I would say about 6 weeks to 8 weeks in general is the training course. That's the first pillar. The second pillar is once you have a 70% attendance during this training course and have satisfactorily performed, that's the feedback we get it from the trainers. And upon satisfactory attendance and performance in terms of participation and attendance, you get a course completion certificate. So you'll get a certificate which says you have completed 6 weeks course, diploma course in Python data science and machine learning. Now that's something you can add in your resume, LinkedIn. It does add a value. That's the second pillar. Upon which then the drill starts. Because you have gone through the training and some in-house or simulated projects, it enables you to have a reference-ready resume. So then we engage our efforts towards preparing for a reference-ready resume. That's the third pillar, very important. Amit Shah, who is the India's Home Minister, famously said, "Dikhta hai wo bikta hai." So you need to make sure your resume, which is the face of your candidature, is properly updated. It has all the bells and the whistles, because that's what is going to fetch you the inquiries. Upon which the fourth pillar is the vendor or the supplier's Q&A interview preparation. We work with most of the Indian outsourcing partners because they have these global turnkey projects. So we align ourselves as a staffing agency towards working with them across the country. And because we have at least 21 years of experience working with them, we are their vendor, we have access to the job portal, we have a rapport relationship, often we know what they are looking for, and that leverage we have and that push we have to ensure you get through this vendor interview. And we will prep you as to what to expect and what to answer. Okay. After that, the next pillar is the D-Day, the client interview questions and answers. This is primarily, most of you will be working at Fortune 5000 clients. As we have over 2 decades of experience, and as we have a few hundred consultants working in corporate America, using our past experience, using our existing consultants, ex-consultants, often we document the data, the repository, as to what the client environment is, what's the technology toolkit they have, and what their wish list is or what they're looking for. That helps you towards better preparing yourself for the client interview. And also, even the trainers are involved to prep you for the D-Day. Okay, because the job description, your resume, so there'll be enough mock sessions, the questions and answers will be provided to you. So you're in a much better position to be prepared than someone going blindfolded. Now that's the fifth pillar. Okay, somehow you crack the interview. Now what? Now comes the ongoing project support. Okay, just because you clear the interview, you will sustain in the job. Well, not true, right? So when you start working, every day you have challenges. Every day is a new day. And during the initial 3-6 months of your initial settling down period, you need an anchor. You need a mentor. And your mentor is, needless to say, your trainers, because you have engaged with them before 2 or 3 months during the training. So your trainers are your anchors. Along with you, there will be a fraternity of the other students who have also studied with you. So that bonding, that fraternity, brotherhood, sisterhood also stays there. All of you will work as a team. and thus you will prevail in corporate America. So the 6 pillars are: first pillar is the 6 to 8 weeks of training. The second pillar is course completion certificate. The third pillar is reference ready resume preparation. The fourth pillar is vendor interview questions and answers preparation. The fifth pillar is end client interview coaching assistance. And the sixth pillar is ongoing project support. Okay, these are the 6 pillars, thus making us unique, because majority of the agencies you will see, they are there to rob your money. They are there to take some money with you, throw some videos, and then they're gone. Whereas you'll see some of us, we walk that extra mile, and our focus is not only on training. The focus is on ensuring that we guide you for that career employment focused job placement training. So focus is on job placement, employment, not only on mere training. Okay. As a corporate policy, 10% of our earning, of our gross profit, goes to various causes which we have pledged in the USA as well as in India, as we have dual heritage. Apart from the Python data science training track, some of our other technology focused practice areas, training areas in no particular order are .NET, full stack, Android and iOS development, big data, business intelligence, visualization reporting tools like Tableau, Qlik, Power BI, Snowflake, cloud DevOps, front-end UI design development, Java full stack microservices, MuleSoft integration, Oracle NetSuite ERP, Salesforce development and administration, robotics process automation using UiPath. These are some of our most popular IT training courses happening. Some of the courses are repeated at least 5 or 6 times in a year, which are easy to learn, like business analysis, Scrum, Salesforce administration, Selenium QA. And the other one, like Python data science, machine learning, typically we organize it 2 or maximum 3 times a year. Now, apart from these IT training courses, we also have 2 other domains where we offer training as well as placement. Because I live in New Jersey, New Jersey is known for a heartland of pharmaceutical, life science and healthcare domain. 7 out of 10 world's largest pharmaceutical companies are headquartered in the tri-state. So, needless to say, we have expanded our offering in pharmaceutical healthcare area as well as in the mechanical and industrial engineering domain, because that's another domain for which the USA is known for. In pharmaceutical healthcare domain, we typically provide training courses on biostatistician, clinical trial data management, SaaS clinical, and validation quality management. Whereas in the mechanical industrial engineering, one of the most popular course we have is SolidWorks CAD/CAM design engineering. We are evolving also. So as and when we see the opportunity and we have the access of good trainer as well as support mechanism, as a part of our evolution, we continue to add more and more such courses. But for now, this is what we run as an organization. Okay. Well, most of the Fortune 5000 companies in the corporate America does consume these skill sets. Thus, there is a huge scope for those of you looking to enter in corporate America. Now, this training typically happens, it's a combination of weekdays and weekend. Typically, every track runs 3 days a week. I'm giving you an overview. Say, for example, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. or 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. or 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Time, depending upon the trainer and the comfort of the student. Mia Bibi Razi, to kya karega Kazi. So, whatever works with the trainer fraternity and the student fraternity, that class timings are basically devised in. Now, there is always a little tweak depending upon holidays, emergencies, the other, techno functional challenges like internet challenge, or sometimes, because we're using a global sourcing model, most of my trainers are in India. So power outage or, having too much of rainfall does have a negative impact. So those training sessions are tweaked further. Okay. So these are, as I said, some of them are Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Some of them are Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Some of them are Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. It's a mix of blends of days, but most of them happens during evening, EST time, either 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 8:30, 9. Weekends, often we keep it for like a workshop or a repeat session. And the weekend sessions are more flexible. They can be in our mornings, they can be in our afternoons, or they can be early evenings. Because even the trainers have much flexibility, wiggle room, and even the students will have much more flexibility. All training tracks are recorded. Okay. So in case you miss one session, you are able to catch up on that recording. Those who enrolled will be ported in a secured WhatsApp group, wherein along with you, the other like-minded people will be part of that training track. And then you'll be shared these recorded videos of this training, reference material, homeworks, assignments, and all of you are very focusedly working towards this training track. We are also product partner for some of these product companies. Recently, we've also invested in a certifying agency, a Pearson franchisee back in India. It helps us towards some of you who wants to get prepared, because we have a franchisee for certifying agency. That helps us to have access to the question bank. So then we work an extra mile towards giving you the question bank. And with the help of those question bank, practice makes you perfect, right? Once you have the questions, the trainers will help you get the answers. So you are better off towards preparing yourself to get that much needed certification also, if you want to be that product certified professional. Okay. I've already mentioned about the clients. We work with most of the Indian outsourcing partners. The American vendors also, like K-Force, Manpower, Robert Half, Kelly, Elizen, and many others. We also work with, I think, 19 or 20 universities in the USA for their student exchange program. So primarily for their graduate school, we bring students from India. They enroll themselves into the studies. Along with that, they're also going through our training, internships, project work. So by the time they finish their masters, they're also, having that hands-on 2 years of experience that increase their marketability and getting them a job. Okay. As I'm in New Jersey, here most of the tri-state clients, which are small and mid-size, like hotel, motel, restaurant, healthcare professional practices, we help manage their website design, development, and digital marketing also. Okay. Some of these, if not all of them, it becomes a project and also gives an opportunity to get a small overview on the real-time project. Okay. these are difficult times. COVID-19 pandemic, led to a global recession. Millions of job losses in the USA, so much of destruction of our GDP, our great nation, can be very depressing. No matter whom you talk to, at least 10 to 20% people in any WhatsApp group, Telegram group have lost a job. One way is to continue cry and continue that blame game. The second option is some of us can rise up to the occasion and give that helping hand towards reducing the unemployment. So what we are doing, we are helping people as well as corporate America towards providing employment, and because we provide employment, we reduce the unemployment. In every adversity comes the opportunity. So let's look at the positive side of COVID-19 pandemic. It taught not only corporate America but the entire world that things can be done remote. We use and we leverage this remote working because my trainers and most of my operations happens 8,000 miles away from India. And that's the reason I'm able to give this free training to those who are willing to work on our projects post-training. So in light of the tight budget, in light of remote working, the employers are looking and relooking a good qualified resource who can work within their reduced budget because they're working remotely. So many of you who wants to have a kickstart your career or looking to restart your career, it's a very big opportunity and a golden opportunity because things are remote, and with the help of trainer, you not only can sustain, rather you will succeed in that employment. Okay, because Guru School's 6-pillar offering will ensure each one of you not only secure the opportunity working in corporate America, but you will stay on a project. Okay. Our focus, as I said, is not mere training. Our focus is not on making quick bucks, rob you, throw some videos and we are done. No. We are more focused on career-guided, employment-oriented IT training and to give you real-time project experience and helping you during the interview, and then once you get placed, give you the ongoing project support. Thus, each one of you who will enroll will ensure a job in corporate America and making a 6-figure salary. In today's session, I see good number of you have joined. This is our introductory overview session. So, what to expect? We'll get a good overview on Python data science with machine learning at a conceptual level. It also gives an opportunity to have a question and answer with the trainers. So during the orientation, the trainers will take breaks and will have a question and answer with you. And also formally, upon finishing their overview session, we will have at least 10 to 15 minutes reserved towards taking questions. For those who wants to ask questions, this is your time. You can ask questions. You can also send us an email to training@guruschools.com requesting the recorded session link, requesting any additional information about enrollment. Today's our subject matter experts. We have a 2-member team, Jayanti and Ravindra. They both have extensive experience working in IT industry as well as in corporate IT training. Ravindra, I've been working with him for many years. He has worked in USA, in Middle East, Australia, New Zealand, as well as now he's in India. What they bring on the table, as I said, is not mere training because they have worked in a corporate India, corporate America. So they are giving you that opportunity and an exposure towards how things works in corporate life and in a global environment. So without doing any further ado, I welcome you all again. Thank you all for listening. And now, Jayanti and Ravindra, it's all yours. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Devji. Thanks, Tom. Basically, that was a really great overview. We were trying to understand how the overall long-term engagement, what we are planning for, such a critical course, such a critical, learning, so that it's a long-term scenario what we are building, right? It's not a ribbon-cutting ceremony, like we give you some video, we give you some test, and then ran away, and you're on your. No, we are going to walk with you for a long period. We are looking for an engagement over the years, and that's how we build the relation. That's how the idea of Gurukuls sipping into our blood, sipping with the engagement, sipping with the overall building the career of a participant, and that's how we work closely. We have been doing this thing for last 20 odd years, and Devji was our guidance point for whole building up this model, trying to make it better day by day, trying to improve it as and when we go ahead, and that's how we build all our process. So I believe everybody understood this, six offerings which we have in terms of Gurukuls. Anybody have any questions on this at this moment? I believe it's no. Then let's go ahead. Let's try to understand why Python data science. Okay, let's try to understand from the industry experts, right? Here it's a screenshot of Forbes website I have collected today morning itself, where that Forbes itself trying to put an average salary of a day. This is average salary, right? It could go 20% higher, 20% lower. So the salary they are looking at, the max offered is 242k. And believe me, these are the normal salaries which are coming up. Twitter offered 242k for 6 data scientists joined few days back, and that's how the overall salary range is coming up as far as data scientists go. As far as the last quarter review in the US revenue, we have 167 as an average data science salary. Okay, and that's how the overall payouts we can acquire whenever you acquire such skill. Okay, let's try to understand where we stand in terms of job market, because that's what we are pursuing, right? We want to earn good bucks. We want to improve our quality of life. We want to reach there with a nice house, nice car, nice family, and so on and so forth. So how to go get there? And I think Python data science is one of the most crucial part which will help you to get there. Yes, there are efforts required on your side, on our side, and that's how we started with how to build the engagement, how we can work together. This is not just a mere training. It's a training. It's a 6 to 8 week training, depending upon our pace, depending upon our discussion, depending upon the hands-on workshop time, question, answer, and those things. That's why we also kept the overall training flexible enough to make you understand, flexible enough in case we want to inclusion of new tool set, we can include those things as well. And that's how, as and when we grow, we try to building that flexibility within ourselves, like the agile model, right? Agile project management model, right? It's flexible, it's iterative, and that's how we work. And we have that agility within build our training fraternity also. We are a really great group of around 25 plus trainers within Guru Schools. We have a great guidance like Devji and a couple of really great industry dignitaries. We are normally working with all top IT partners within North American regions, and that's how we are basically have resorted to supply such great demand of Python data science scientists, so that they can leverage their work through these all trained resources. And again, these are all long-term engagement models what we are talking about. So this is not just mere training. You are getting introduced to a new company engagement, new long-term engagement, as good as having a great partner working together, working with you side by side to build your career through and through. This is not just the training we are talking about. That's why Devji clearly explained the 6 pillars. That's how we put it, as in 6 pillars of upbringing your career, right? And that's how we are devising it for a couple of years. Now let's try to understand the salary range again. So we are looking at 120k plus normal salary. I mean, that's how it starts, and it can go up to 242k per annum, as Twitter is offering currently. If you go to Twitter's job offerings, you can clearly see this salary range there. So this is not just my data. These are just data based on the big big firms across the globe, across the North America, which they are predicting this, this data. Now, the average salary, which I think a kind of stringent way, but this is how Indeed.com puts it. Indeed is one of the most prominent job site in the Midwest region, and I think even in East Coast as well. So Indeed, this is the average salary. So we can talk about 20% more, 20% less. So if you really do a calculation, we are talking about anything in the north of 120k and up to 250k. That's how we are trying to understand the salary range as far as this really great skill set which we're going to learn throughout this introductory session, right? So let's try to understand. Let's dive a step deep in. And if you go to Career Builder, this is what Career Builder is offering. There are some data scientists applied group, what you can say, openings are there. They are put at really stringent 100 and 130k. This is a Midwest, rather South Midwest type of company where living costs are really, really low. So if these guys in such a niche area, they are trying to portray the salary at that rate, it's really great and critical career what we are talking about, right? So let's try to understand from Dice. Dice is one of the most prominent North American job search engine, right? So even Dice is looking at around 160k plus salary on an average as far as normal Python data science resource go, and there are around thousands of job posting available as of day. And I have searched for a particular US region, that's why the numbers are a bit reduced. Then again, when it comes to Forbes, right? This is the slide which they use normally to put the quadrant across. So there are some job quadrants, job requirement quadrants, and that's how they were putting it. So there are data scientists in an organization called Core Data. These are all multinationals, frankly speaking. There's a data scientist in Amazon, and there's a data scientist in Walmart e-commerce. So Walmart is quite a stringent employer, and Walmart is also offering 140k plus. That's the normal base salary we are talking about here. So that's how we are looking at a quite prominent career in terms of Python data science, right? And this is the track what we are going to learn. Now, why Python? Because if you look at the data science overall, if you look at the machine learning, if you look at the AI, there are quite a few platforms available. But if you look at the overall scientific community, Python is the most simple, humble, evolved technology platform we have with us. The libraries are extensive. We'll come to libraries and how we use this within the introduction session after flu side. Let's just try to understand. Python is the most simplest platform available to acquire data science and machine learning type of two most important technologies. And that's how we are walking on this path. That's how we have decided let's have a Python track with Python as a platform, and we are trying to acquire technologies like data science, learn technology like data science, machine learning, and create some solutions on these topics, build some solution for this topic for the industry, latest practices, best practices, and let's try to understand how can we do in the best possible scenario. So this is how the course designers brought up to 6 to 8 weeks training track, 3-4 days a week, 3 days normally, 4 days if we if we feel like there's a need. Otherwise we will keep it 3 days a week. There are many hands-on sessions, so you have to do put in bit of efforts to understand, to learn, to go to the next step, and that's how it's a step-by-step progressive curriculum. That's what we build. There are quite a few workshops planned because this is a practical session we are talking about. We are talking about using the data to its best, using the overall learnings for even machine as well. So we must learn, and then we'll try to acquire the machines to acquire these learning methodologies. So there are efforts required on your side, there are efforts required on our side, and that's why I call it as a good engagement session. So we are working together, we are building our careers together, and that's how I see it, right? So let's take a step ahead. Let's try to introduce ourselves. Me, I am Ravindra Pane. I have 26 years of experience. I worked in 6 different countries, around quite a few continents. I'm a founder member of quite a few organizations. I'm into corporate training full-time for last 15 years, now almost 16. I have working with many organizations like PMI, Agile, PCI, IOTA, robotics, and quite a few other organizations. So I'll not really go into details of that. And that's how I built my career, and that's how I came at this important juncture of my life where we believe in sharing our knowledge. We be very building up some good solutions for unemployed so that they can earn good bucks, because there are some really good bright candidates within the new freshers, even within the IT professionals, where if you can guide them correctly, they can go or they can top the overall business. Even we working with quite a few incubation labs to build these new entrepreneurs as well, right? And that's how we are working closely with many partners. Even we are closely working with Apache Foundation, we are closely working with PMI, it's already mentioned there, Agile, and there are many multi-facet organizations which we are closely working with to leverage our training, or be partner with them to train their employees as well on a frequent basis. So that's how we have built this overall curriculum and planned this training session. I would request Jayanti ji, Jayanti sir, if you could please introduce yourself and take it up from me. Please go ahead, Jayanti ji.
Sure. Thank you, Ravindra ji. Thank you for taking us through what all offerings and what all the market has to offer once this course is completed, and providing a brief introduction to what attending this particular course can open a lot of opportunities for all the people seeking opportunities in the American region. So thank you for that. Hello guys, my name is Jayanti Bhanushali. You can call me Jay. So I have been working within India, but I have worked for various global corporations, multinational corporations, even US based corporations like JP Morgan Chase, currently employed for one of the leading general corporations in India. And as a hobby, I also like to share my knowledge in terms of Python, in terms of machine learning and data science, right? So that was a bit introduction about me. So I'll start. So like Ravindra ji already explained you about what the market holds, right? What is the potential of the market even in this COVID era. But I'll take you through a different path where I'll teach you, I'll show you what all data science and Python is all about at a bird's eye view. Can we go to the next slide, please, Ravindra ji? Great. So we all understand what a data is, right? We are surrounded by data. So in a very naive language, anything that can be recorded, right, is a data. For example, the number 55, right? When we add a context to it, so from the number 55, you cannot make sense. What is it? It can be my weight, it can be the amount of money I have in my salary, it can be my PIN code, anything, right? When I add a context to it, for example, I say that, okay, my weight is 55. That becomes information. Now I can use this information to determine knowledge. For example, I can determine, okay, my weight is below the average or above the average. That is how our brain works, and it is the same thing that has been replicated in data science. In short, all the data that we do, we convert that into knowledge and do some decisions, right? So that is what data is in a nutshell. And the same thing has been used in the data science industry. Next slide. Yeah. Now, what is data science? Now we understand what is data, right? So what is data science? So data science is a combination of four things. First of all, we require some expertise in programming. Why programming? Because gone are the days where I can calculate I can perform some analysis on pen and paper, right? We are bombarded with lots of data. So we create data, we consume data, we store data, and so on, right? So we need programming languages to work upon that data. So the first thing that we require is programming. The second thing that we require is a bit of math. So when I say math, it does not mean we require we require integration and derivatives, all those complex things. Nope. So the maths that we require is very elementary level, something like linear algebra, calculus, probability, and so on. Very basic level maths that we consciously or unconsciously use in our daily lives to make decisions, right? The third thing that I require is the domain expertise. As we know, data science has been applied over a lot of industries, be it HR, be it finance, be it marketing, be it digital, anywhere, e-commerce. Yeah. So data science has spread its foot across all the industries that you can think of. So you require a bit of domain expertise to understand what are the kinds of problems that exist in that particular business domain, right? And the fourth thing is the ability to storytell, the ability to communicate your findings, to communicate your solutions to the stakeholders. Why it is important? Because most of the times the data scientist, we as a data scientist are not the decision maker, right? We are more of an influencer, right? We always act as a decision influencer to the CEO or the CMO or any other C-level suits, right? So hence we need to have an apt ability to communicate this solution to the higher management, right? So that is a bit about what is data science all about. Now what we do in it, basically, to give you in a nutshell, you just discover hidden patterns from the data, right, and provide solutions about it. Yeah. So we all know that today the industry is sitting on mines of data, right? So we as a data scientist, you can work on any tool, but the end aim is to discover the hidden relationships between the data and to solve a business problem, right? So that is why the companies pay you to solve a business problem using data. Yeah. We can move to the next slide. Now, why this sudden increase in data science? If you look 10 years back, a decade back, or 15 years back, there was nothing called as data science. So why a sudden, right? If you look the today's technologies, everything is dependent on data. So gone are the days where we used to download a movie, a song, right? So we have Netflix. Whenever we want to see a movie, whenever we want to listen to a song, we have all the latest apps that use cloud. So where is the data stored? The data is stored in cloud, right? So owing to the revolution in the storage of data, the infrastructure storage of data, so the data storage has become very cheap, and thus a lot of focus is on collection of data, right? So as you can see from the graph, this has been taken from IDC Global Data Sphere. You can see that the amount of data that exists in the world is continuously increasing, right? So more and more data that we are collecting, but what are we doing with it, right? Most of the companies are doing nothing. It's just that in the past few years, they have realized that, okay, I can use this data to improve my business, to improve the life of my customers. For example, target marketing. So whenever you watch a YouTube video, based on your historical behavior, you are given a target ad, right? So that's a use of data science. Based on your Netflix history, the type of movies you watch, you are given the next best movie, right? So movie recommendations. Similarly, in Amazon, you are given product recommendation. So what are these? These are basically practical applications of data science where you are the consumer. Yeah. So that is why the data has been increasing, and hence the requirement for the number of data scientists is going up and up, because more and more companies are adopting and realizing the importance of data science. Yeah. Do we have any questions at the moment that I can take? All right. Ravindraji, next slide.
Please go ahead, Jayanji.
Yeah. Can you move? Yeah. Thank you. Cool. So why Python data science? So basically, why this particular course, Python with data science? So if you are looking for upskilling, why should master it? Because this course is like most of the sought after thing in today's IT market, rightly explained by Ravindraji in the previous slide. So what are we offering here? So there are a lot of Python libraries such as NumPy, Matplotlib. All these are open source libraries that can help us to solve different business problem, right? So apart from the academic problems that we are going to solve, we also solve real world projects. For example, employee attrition management, customer churn model, recommendation engine. All these are real world problems that we are going to solve in this particular track. Yeah, we provide practical training and hands-on approach. So it's not like I'm just re-emphasizing on the fact that it's not a one-time thing where we just give you videos and you walk away. So we'll be there till the last, not only till you get a job, but till you are efficient enough to do that job on your own. So that is the level of support we provide. Again, re-emphasizing on the point that machine learning is the next industry changer. So recently, the owner of Tesla, Elon Musk, became the richest person in the world, right? So what is his core idea at the moment? It's self-driving cars. So you can see the amount of opportunities that AI can hold for solving different real-world problems. Yeah. All right, we can move to the next slide. So there are multiple platforms, right? So if you have heard or listened or talked to anybody about data science, so there are a lot of tools that are being used, such as Excel, R, Tableau, even SAS and Python. But why do we choose Python? So number one is Python is one of the most easy to learn language. Why? Because it's built upon C and C++. So if you understand something about C and C++, Python is a easy language to crack. Second thing, it's very easy to integrate with the existing infrastructure of the companies. So if you go with different platform, it might act as a challenge, but Python, as it integrates with most of the open source and the other system, the proprietary systems, very smoothly, it is one of the most sought after language. Having said that, that opens a lot of opportunity in the market, because most of the opportunities in the data science market are related to Python, right? So either Python is a mandatory requirement or it is optional, but Python is always there. Why? Because of the ecosystem, because of its open source libraries that it performs, because of the open source community help on Stack Overflow, on the Python open source forum it provides, right? It's continuously evolving. 2 years back, there was no library that could help us to do deep learning, right? Which is analyzing on images. But right now we have a whole ecosystem to do that. And slowly and gradually the community is building up. Hence, Python is one of the best language to learn for data science. Also, it is used by large corporates like Google, NSA, which is basically the National Space Agency, the Netflix, YouTube, Boston Dynamics, even BitTorrent, right? So all these companies, big companies, are already using Python and reaping the benefits of the power of open source languages. Yeah, so that is why Python. We can move to the next slide. So like I said, data science is a combination of programming, a bit of maths, and a bit of business knowledge. Why data science? Because data is everywhere, right? We are creating data, we are consuming data. So the more you are on the internet, you are also consuming data, but at the same time you are creating data. So the amount of likes you give, the comment, the amount of time you spend on a page, everything is being recorded. Trust me on that. Even if you play a repeated scene again and again on YouTube, even that is being recorded to target you into a particular profile. Yeah. So all the data is being recorded, and because of that booming data, the world requires more and more data scientists. Yeah. Even in the future, it's one of the emerging technologies and doesn't seem to end in another decade or two. Right. It's ever growing right now. We can move to the next slide. So what is the difference between a data analyst and a data scientist? So data analyst has been existing since the time of Microsoft Excel. You analyze the data, you create pivots, you create graphs, you make beautiful dashboards. But what makes it different from data scientist. So the skills of data analyst, along with a bit of statistics, a bit of programming skills, which includes Python, understanding the algorithms, the machine learning algorithms, understanding a bit of deep learning, which includes neural networks, which is very similar to how our brain works using neurons, and predictive analytics, right? So all these skills combined with the skills of analyst can make you a data scientist. So do we have any questions at the moment? All right, guys, feel free to ask any questions. Let's make this session interactive. All right, so on your screen you can see some of the applications in different domains. So e-commerce, we all use Amazon, right? So identifying whether this customer is going to buy or not, and giving him appropriate campaigns, sending him appropriate campaigns so that the probability increases, right? Analyzing the reviews, the sentiment analysis, right? Determining the number of stars that you gave on an Amazon product, recommending you. So we all have seen this, right? People who bought this also bought this. What's that? Basically, they are recommending you. For example, if you are buying a mobile, they'll preferably recommend you a mobile cover or accessory like Bluetooth speaker, something like that, right? Manufacturing. Let's talk about manufacturing. So anomaly detection, which means I predict when the error is going to happen, so that instead of reacting it, I can solve it proactively. Yeah. Banking. Gone are the days where the bank managers used to look at the paperwork and determine whether you need to get a loan or not, right? There are machine learning algorithms. Depending upon your credit history, depending upon your salary, depending on the existing loans, it can determine whether you are suitable for a particular loan or not. Yeah. Fraud detection. If your card is being swiped on a different region, you belong to North America, right? And the card is being swiped in somewhere east, it automatically recognizes that, okay, this guy never purchased anything in the east, and it sends a trigger so that frauds can be avoided. Medical. So if you are aware about the recent progresses made in the COVID detection, there are algorithms that can determine the probability of COVID basis the X-ray of heart, right? So there are certain patterns in your X-ray that helps it to recognize whether this patient is having COVID or not. So that is the level of that is the pivotal role that data science is playing in the healthcare industry. Transport. We all know Tesla and self-driving cars, right? We all have seen some concept videos where a lot of automation, such as parking assist. What is that? It's basically determining or making decisions in the real time, right? We can see around us. Finance. So algorithmic trading, right? That's a practical example, determining from the trends and patterns of a share whether we should buy it or sell it or hold it, and so on, right? So that is the level of penetration that data science has made in the world around us.
Sir, this is Deepthi.
Yes, Deepthi, go ahead.
Actually, I just, in the transport you said like the self-driving cars and all. Isn't that just an innovation? I mean, what data science has to do anything with the self-driving cars? Because data science, I understand that we get the recommendation of products and all in the e-commerce. I can visualize it. But in transport, I'm just not able to visualize how data science is helping these things. These are just the new innovations we are, we're coming up with.
Correct. So let me give you a brief about how it determines, right? So what is a self-driving car? Basically, it senses if there are any cars ahead of it or are there any objects around it, so that it can make a decision to go on, which is to apply acceleration or to apply brakes, right? But how does it do that? It has some cameras fitted around it.
Yeah, they have sensors and all, sensors and cameras.
Yes, so that acts as input data. So sensors gives me some data. I get an image of what is on my left, what is on my right, what is the distance, right? And then I have to make some decisions, right? So deep learning, I talked about a concept called as deep learning, right? So deep learning is all about analyzing the image and determining an objective. In this case, the objective is how far that person is from this car, right? So for example, if you are in front of the car, if you are at 20 meters, I'll make a different decision. I'll slow down, right? If you are at 5 meters distance, I'll basically apply a urgent brake. And if you are at 100 meters, I'll go on in the first gear. So all these decisions are made by analyzing the image, right? What the cameras take, it is processed to analyze, okay, what is the distance of the object from the car, and then make the next course of action appropriately.
Okay, yeah. So it is basically collecting data, at the moment. So we are not recording any past data and all.
No, we are doing that, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So we are doing, right? So how do I know at 10 meters I have to slow down, at 5 meters I have to apply brakes? That is from the historical data. So I have to train the model that, okay, whenever you determine that the distance is 5 meters, apply brakes. Whenever the distance go below 20, slow down. Whenever the distance is above 20, go in a normal speed. So all these are decisions made from historical data. So if I have never experienced that in my life, how can I train the model? So model is all about training based on historical data.
Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Moving on. So a lot of people ask me, what is a data science lifecycle look like, right? So to give you a bird's eye view, so the first thing that a data scientist does is it obtains the data. So there are a lot of DBAs and data analysts sitting in the company that can give you the data. The first step is obtaining the data from multiple sources. So I get the data from the operations team, from the sales team, from the marketing team, from the digital marketing team, and so on. What I need to do as a second step, we live in a practical world, right? So the clean data is a myth. So 99.99% of the times I'll have to clean that data. This is where majority of my time goes, because we live in a practical world. So no data is clean. So I'll have to format it, I'll have to prepare it, I'll have to massage it to make it in a usable format. Remove all the unnecessary columns, remove all the unnecessary rows, and so on. Right? So that is data scrubbing. The third step that I do is I explore, which is called as the EDA, the exploratory data analysis. So here is the point where I have a lot of business questions to answer. I have a lot of hypotheses to be validated. Whether age is related in getting you a good amount of salary, whether your gender is dependent on your salary, and so on. Whether region plays an important role while determining what salary do you get, and so on. So all these are business questions that need to be answered in the third phase, which is exploring, right? Once I explore and I find that there are certain relationships which I can observe from the historical data, can I model them so that next time it can be automatically predicted? So that is what modeling all about, using your historical data to determine relationships and predict the future. For example, I always know that whenever the temperature goes above some point and the precipitation value goes above a point, it will rain. So how do I know that? Because I have seen that trend from the historical data, right? So I model all those things so that I get a probability. And the last step is to interpret the output. So once the model is deployed, you don't leave your hands. Basically, you monitor it and you interpret it how it is working in the real world data. And this is more of a continuous cycle that happens one after the another, right? We can move to the next step. Now, how is a life of a data scientist? So it's very different from other IT fields. It's very creative. Every day is different because You do not work on a specified problem. You work on a problem that nobody knows the solution to. So it's a very research oriented thing. It involves a lot of curiosity, a lot of iterations, a lot of agility, right? So companies are flooded with data. They are facing challenges to make decisions. So what does a data science do? Basically, it provides solutions. How? By analyzing the data. Just now we saw the 5 steps of data science, right? The data science life cycle. It provides recommendations. It provides appropriate data-driven decisions to the management. Do this, your sale will go up. Do this, your employee attrition will go down. Call the customer between 5 to 9 p.m. Your hit ratio will go up, and so on. And then they lead to play a key role in the data-driven mechanism for all the organizations, right? So this is how they play a key role or a pivotal role in improving the top line of the business, right? So that is how a life of a data scientist is. That is how they solve business problems. So guys, any questions till now? Yeah, any questions? No? ठीक है. Yeah. A lot of you might have questions like, okay, what all is covered in this particular track, right? Because if you look at the flyer, it has only weeks and the topics. But what exactly in these topics? You can see that we start with the basics, which is what is Python all about, what is data science. So there are a lot of myths, there are a lot of articles, right, on the website, on different on Google, right? So we give you a structured approach about what is data science, why Python, what is Python, how to install it, a look and feel of the tool that you are going to use, and we teach it from the basics. So like Devji rightly mentioned, you just need to have 2 things: a good communication skills in English, which I believe everybody has, and the second is fire in the belly, which means your inquisitiveness to learn new thing. That's all is required. Apart from that, everything will be taken care by the trainers. Yeah. We also teach you about all the open source libraries that are included in Python and different data structures like array, lists, dictionaries, and so on. Yeah. We can move ahead. So also functions, we all understand that, how can we automate working in Python as well. So we also teach that, how can you create user defined functions, how you can work with different types of data, text data, numeric data, utility functions, and so on. Yeah, which is the advanced part. We can move ahead. Yeah. So NumPy and Pandas are the most important libraries in Pandas if you want to, in Python if you want to learn machine learning. So since we are from the corporate, we understand what is important, what is practically important, and what is theoretically important. The course is more focused on what is practically important. So we understand the practical significance of NumPy and Pandas. So we cover it till the depth. Yeah, as you can see, a lot of topics within NumPy and Pandas are being covered. Moving on. Yes. Now, there are a lot. So like I said, as a data scientist, most of your time is being spent in cleaning the data, right? Machine learning is the final mile, the last 20%. But the initial 80% is the iteration that you do on exploring the data, cleaning the data, getting the data from variant sources, and that's a repetitive cycle. So that consumes 80% of your time. So this is why, yeah, Dipti, go ahead.
Sir, what is machine learning? I'm still not sure what is it.
Yeah.
Just the terminology.
Yeah. So basically, what is machine learning? So basically, you are teaching a machine to make decisions. So that is what machine learning
It's
is.
AI. It's as good as AI.
Yeah, so machine learning and AI has been used interchangeably, but there's a technical difference which I believe we can discuss later. But machine learning is a subset of AI. You can say that.
Yeah, it's like teaching the machines to how to make intelligent decisions.
Correct.
Jayantji, let me answer.
Yeah.
Dipti, machine learning is basically you're trying to make the machine intelligent, right? That's the prime objective there. So you take a machine, you try to understand its observation. You try to build an observation capability within that machine. Then machines start understanding the those observation by the sensors, and then reacts on those decision nodes. We call it decision node because there's a decision has to made as per the performance. This is what the machine learning is all about. Now AI, we talk in general about artificial intelligence, which includes machine as well. So machine learning is a subset of AI. Even overall data science is also a kind of superset of AI, because in data science there's artificial intelligence, there are other systems like Internet of Things and other subset included. So we are just trying to understand data science on a larger scale, and then machine learning as a specified objective throughout this training course, a hands-on approach. So when you talk about data science, it's still an emotion learning field, so it's still evolving. So that's why you couldn't find the exact definition of data science even in IEEE or the computer society for that matters. So we are still trying to build the data science as an pardigram, data science as a platform altogether. Machine learning is a subset, even AI is a subset of our data science. That's how it's working. And still I'll say there are various definition floating around. It depends on us how we conceive it, right? How we can understand it better. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you, sir. I at least got the overview of what we're
sure. And feel free to ask question. Just pause for whenever Jayanti ji or trainer try to ask questions, please. Okay, please go ahead, Jayanti ji. Sorry for the pardon.
Okay. Thank you, Ravi ji, for answering this question very efficiently. Thank you for that. Thank you, Dipti, for asking the questions. So other people might also have the same question. So asking a question not only helps you, but a lot of other people as well. Yeah. So thank you for that. Yeah. So like I was saying, 80% of your time is all about preparing the data, because as a data scientist, so we experience that garbage in, garbage out. So if your data is garbage, the model, the final machine learning model that comes is also garbage. So hence you need to have a usable data in its precise form, a sacrosanct data as we call it, right? So we also teach you to what all different types of processing that you can do to create a beautiful sculpture of data from a rock, right? So if I can put it that way. So which is all on your screen, you can see a lot of different techniques that you can use to process or massage your data. Yeah, we can move to the next slide. Yeah, okay. A picture is worth 1,000 words. So if you show your boss or management a table, probably they'll not be interested to look at it. So what works best? Data visualization. So Python or data science is not only about machine learning models, it's also about data visualization. So we teach you a lot of different visualizations that can be used for different types of data and to solve multiple problems. So for example, histograms, bar charts, pie charts, scatter plots, and even three-dimensional graphs like bubble plots. All these are covered. Then also a bit of statistics. So if you like you saw in the previous slides, statistics is also important part, right? Because you have to decide basis the sample. We always work on samples of data, right? So we do not work on the whole population of data. So a lot of decisions has to be made on whatever limited sample of data that we have. So for that, statistics helps us to determine whether we should go ahead with our decision or whether we need to collect more data and wait for the right time to arrive for that decision. Yeah, we can go ahead. Okay, within machine learning, what all things are covered? So a lot of machine learning algorithms which are practically used, such as linear regression, decision trees, uh, gradient descent, support vector machines, all these are covered. And within unsupervised learning, right, where we do not have what is the right decisions to be made, so we work on unsupervised learning. So we do cluster analysis. Within cluster analysis, there are a lot of techniques such as k-means clustering, the c-means clustering, hierarchical clusterings. All these are different clustering algorithms that we cover under the unsupervised machine learning, right? Other things include the recommendation engines, right? So like we saw an example of Amazon recommending you different products, right? So what algorithm does it use? So it uses collaborative filtering. So if you Google about the recommendation algorithms for Netflix, for Amazon, it is going to be one out of the two. Either it's a collaborative filtering or it's the content-based filtering, right? So these are the two most prominent algorithms used for recommending you the next best product. We can go ahead. Under deep learning, we also cover the reinforcement learning and other algorithms. In the last part, we also did discuss about what is cross-validation, which is why you should test your model from multiple perspectives before actually commenting that it is the best, working on different data from different time periods to check on that, to ensure the robustness of the model, right? Which is very much important in the corporate world. So that is also being covered. We can go ahead. Yes, Ravindraji. Yeah, I request Ravindraji to take up from here.
Thank you, Jayantiji. Wait a minute. Okay. Give me a minute, please. Yes, as we explained overall, the 6 pillars of the Guru schools. This is a kind of implementation way of how we achieve these things. There are quite a few LOI project. We try to discuss, build the problem, do the data analysis, build the overall schema, select the suitable tools whichever align with the given problem, align with the given libraries available, adapt to them, try to integrate within the solutions, build, develop, release, try to test and deploy this thing, because we normally use remote workings, so we try to deploy it on a cloud jointly, try to use some templates. These are specifically standardization templates which we use whenever we go on job. Try to understand methodology like agile, even various methodologies within this solutions framework, and we'll build some really good hands-on projects, working units while we are doing this training. So this is a really hands-on training rather than just a theoretical thing, watch the YouTube and go home. No, we are going to work together, we are going to build these solutions together. That's how we go step by step. We'll learn one, we'll try one, we'll break something, learn something, and so on and so forth. So that's how we are going to be a data scientist, not just by looking at a video trying to understand the philosophies. No, yes, philosophy understanding is an integral part. Understanding what is data, understanding what is maths, algorithms, statistics, how to do with these things, understanding the various libraries available, understanding the various meta algorithms and algorithms, how we can leverage those libraries, or how we can leverage from some open source tools and techniques available in the market, so that we don't have to spend too much cost in terms of acquiring quite a few costly tools and techniques. That's how the industry is moving to. So we try to work on industry best practices, we try to learn this thing, we try to adopt these industry best practices within our grasp, and we work on that. Okay, and now we also have an integral part of personality development. What does it include? It includes overall the profile building, the resume building, try to have interview preparation, try to work with question banks which we have already collected, because we are doing this thing for years together. So we have these things collected at our end, we share with you, so you can understand how the client is going to ask which question for which domain and so on and so forth. Then we also have a on-job project. So whenever you start your job, we are there to help you. So whenever you need, you can just call us, you can just message us, and we can take it up from there. We'll try to help you, we try to support you the best possible way, right? We have some handholding good practices which we build in over the years, and that's how we all learning together. We'll better be working with you, better support you, and those scenario we will make sure you do your job in the best confidential with the best confidence available there, right? Now we discussed about machine learning, right? As ma'am asked us again, we are looking at an ordinary system with artificial intelligence. We push some learning methodologies into that. So there are some predictive learning, there are some supervised learning, there are some improvements type of learning. So these are the various career paths we have within machine learning as well. But these are, then we are going into specifics. Data scientist is an umbrella job type, and we are going to start with overall data scientist, and then we go step by step in depth, in clarity, so towards solutioning of these industry problems. So we'll try to understand some problems, we'll work on it practically, we'll try to build solutions within data science technologies and methodologies, and we'll try to understand a good hands-on approach before we start getting ready for the interviews, right? I believe that's all from my side. Let me take you to the first slide again. These are the rough contents. These contents can be shifted along from weeks to weeks, or day to day also. Depends on the overall learning curve, depends on the understanding of the participants as well. So we are more inclined closely working with each and every participants, and do these things. Jimmy Patel asked a question saying, when is the training starting? That's really great question, Jimmy. We are just sorting out the logistic, depending on how we can get it started as early as possible, as early within few days, as late as I believe a week's time or 2 weeks time at the max. That's how I look at it. And yeah, it's a free training. What we charge, what we offer is basically have a $500 deposit, which is submitted to Guru School, and Guru School will confirm that with the subsequent emails, so that the deposit is refunded to you after 3 months of working with Guru School. And why we kept it free? Because we want to help the needy people, we want to help the participants as well, and we are not going to be rich with this $500. We are trying to share the knowledge with you, we are trying to build a community, we are trying to help the community overall, and we want to grow together. So the longer you work with us, the longer you will get support. If you don't want to work us, that's also fine with us. If you don't want to work with us, then that $500 deposit will be forfeited, because you can find a job on your own, and you can get much better salary also in case if you have good offer with you. So that's also an option with you. $500 is just a nominal amount. This we are charged because there were quite a few free party type of guys used to came to training, and they used to spoil the environment. So we want a commitment from you, as we are committing so many things before you. So it's a small, I think, deposit. It's what is requested for each and every participant. Does that answer your question, Jimmy? Thank you, Jimmy. Thanks a lot. Yes, sure. Okay, yes. Anybody else have any question? Diptiji, have you? Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. I mean, maybe for you or for Jay sir. It's like how much, the Python. I have the question regarding the Python. I know that Python is, a Java-based tool, or it's a different technology, and I completely don't have any knowledge about the Python. Mm-hmm. So, how much technical knowledge do I need to, to become a data scientist? How much coding do I need to? How much I should be efficient in my coding knowledge? Because personally speaking, I don't like coding. I just hate coding.
Ma'am, then this might not be a right course for you, because yes, you need to code, you need to develop, because we are trying to develop a solution, right? And as far as scientist fraternity goes, it's a research and R&D, it's a research and development based opportunity. So there are lots of thinking, lots of permutation combination which we do via some platform, because we are trying to build some solution on based of data available. We are trying to pull out some really good inference based on the data. Like you talk about that, driverless car, right? Now, how do we collect data? We collect data from the camera. We collect data from the LiDAR. If you know what you mean by LiDAR, is a laser gun which basically detects the obstruction at a very high speed, much higher than the camera. Okay, I'm not going to explain you how laser work and how you can get that distancing measured for the reactions and all those things. But this LiDAR technology, which is really recently new, and it's a kind of revolving laser spinning on top of your vehicle, and it try to detect any obstacles from any angle, frankly speaking, and it tends to build kind of 3D model within your computer for some obstructions. Okay, and that's how the internal computer, internal robot, the machine reacts to the obstacles. And that's how, based on the decisions, based on the learnings which we captured earlier, the historical data, we try to clear if that obstacle can be clear, or we wait for that obstacle to be get clear and then move on, or we try to measure impact speed, impact ratio, and try to move on depending on the speed, depending on the approach of the other, and so on and so forth. So these are various data which is coming and getting calculated in the background whenever a vehicle starts running, starts going on the road. That's how it happens, right? And this is also an evolutionary model. So whenever that car will come to the garage, the car will push in its learning to the computer, to the central database, and it will be shared with all other cars as well, because it's an evolutionary learning for the machine, and that's why we call it machine learning. The machine is learning by itself. We build a model, we build techniques. Say whenever I clap, the bulb should go on, right? We have seen this, right? These are called smart buttons. These are IOTA based device where the machine learning, what we taught them, whenever I clap, whenever there's a peak of such high bass treble level sound, you should switch on the bulb. And there's a LDR and there's a sound bass receptor, that's how they call it, right? So these are the sensors which tells the internal transitory circuits or the integrated circuits to switch on the light based on some relays. This is how it happens. But we have some logic built into it, so that internal circuit, the IC, reflects on a particular level, reflects after particular nanosecond, milliseconds, and it also try to have, if the light is on, it will switch it off. So these are the smaller device, smaller machine learning practical example which we are using in day-to-day home, right? So you must have seen these things. So these are different scenarios where the data and the reactions are calibrated for each and every devices. So there is a research involved, there is a programming involved. So wherever you try to follow new solution, build new solution, you need to do some programming, you need to do some statistical analysis as well. So it's not as simple as doing Java code. You need to put some efforts and you need to have some learnings also. So to answer your question, yes, you can do it. Even you can learn Python. Python is easier. I believe it's easier than Java rather than difficult, I'll say. But again, these things, the statistical analysis is a bit difficult. To use the machine learning libraries is also a bit difficult. So there is a bit of programming involved. Does that answer your question, ma'am?
Yes, sir. So I guess it has a good mix of both the research as well as the.
Yes, ma'am.
Of course, we have to communicate with the machines. It's a machine learning.
So
we need to communicate with the machine. You need to do the programming, coding.
That's right.
Machine cannot understand our pie charts and data.
Yes. We just know on and off, right? So we need to just
so we need to do a good amount of coding.
Right. Thanks for the question. It was a really great question.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Most welcome, ma'am. Yes, anybody else want to go ahead, please? Anybody have any questions on course schedule?
So Ravindraji, I think there is a question from Soumya that can we get a remote job? I'll just try to answer.
Sure, let me answer that question. Thanks, Jay and Ravindra, for taking it over. It was pretty exhaustive at the same time, very easy to understand. So, the question, it was sent to you, right? Not to public. Is that it? No, Soumya. Can I get a remote? Well, Soumya, all jobs are remote. Okay, if you know what's happening around you in light of COVID-19 pandemic, all jobs are remote. Okay, so at least in the next few quarters, every single job, irrespective of whichever country you are living in, primarily in IT, will be remote. So remote working is the key, and hence it does make much easy for most of you, because at your comfort at home with the help of the trainer, you are able to do your job. So you're not walking in the den of the corporate office, people are looking at you, you're calling, talking to your trainer. No. Here, the trainer is shadowing you, and thus it is a great help. So by the time we are done with the pandemic, you get that much needed hands-on training on the project so that you can do things on your own. So answer is yes. The first question, one of the questions which Ravindra answered, well, typically, once we have a batch of 3 or 4 enrollment, we start the batch. Okay, so I would say towards the end of Jan, we should able to start this batch. Okay, we'll announce it. It all depends upon the enrollment. It's very exhaustive. We at least need 3 to 4 candidates to enroll for the training track. Okay, as both the trainers said, this is for the people looking to make a lot of money. Okay, 200, 300,000 is 4 times to 6 times the average household income one person will be making. Okay, so for that, a lot of efforts goes in. And to justify their time and everyone's time, we need at least 3 or 4 enrollment. Okay. For in terms of what the next steps are, training at guruschools.com, that's where you can send an email. We have a focus group. So what I suggest to you is we have a virtual pool of WhatsApp group created where the like-minded people are ported in that. So all the communication, like such as this introductory session yesterday, we had one for Salesforce administration. We are having one next week for Selenium QA automation. So we continue having such introductory session to wake and shake up the sleeping Kumbhakarna, in general, and or people who are still confused, sitting on the banks, should I jump or not in the waters and swim. So for them, we have such sessions so that if you participate, you get a good overview, understand what you're getting into before you make that decision. Okay. Having said that, with the help of trainer, you'll always able to sustain. It's like learners driving, right? You take driving lessons, you always have the instructor who also have the driving wheel and the brakes. So no matter how you drive, you will always be on the road and you will not crash. And then what happens after 8, 10, 15, 20 sessions, you're able to drive on your own, right? So the trainer shadows you, okay, or the initial days of your bicycling, whether your father or mother or sibling always guided you towards riding the bike, bicycle or motorbike. And then you learned on your own. Okay, so training at guruschools.com is the email ID. You can send any questions you have. Make sure to mention your phone number if you want the HR to contact you back. If you want to be part of the WhatsApp group, please also mention, please add me in the WhatsApp group. If you have your name and the WhatsApp number, we'll be more than happy to add you. There you will see at least 160 or so like-minded people like you, who enroll practically every month or 2, and then accordingly they get consumed, in a sense, which track they are going through. So from that group, they will be ported in these specific training groups. Okay, any more questions?
I have one more question. Like the trainers mentioned that they will help us once we get a job, but it's been years. I haven't prepared my resume also. So do we also get help on resume preparation and when we appear
Have
for the
you joined
interview?
this session from the beginning, Soumya? If you have, you are asking
No,
a question which was self-answered 3 times.
sorry, I couldn't catch that part. I'm
No
sorry.
problem.
Uh,
So
so
answer is yes in a nutshell.
okay,
Okay.
thank you.
No problem. What I suggest you is subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our LinkedIn channel, because all these videos will be going there. I understand sometimes you're doing other chores rather than paying attention here and miss out, but these are important things. Okay, watching a movie or cleaning dishes will not help you make $250,000, but watching this video or learning this will help you make that $200,000, $300,000. So life is all about priorities and life is all about focus. Okay, so 6-pillar offering. I repeat again. Can you, Ravindra? Can you go to the 6-pillar offering? Yes, it's here. You see? Can you read, Soumya?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
What you read? Can you read the third bullet point?
Yeah.
Reference ready resume preparation.
Yes, it mentions. Thank you.
Oh, okay, good. So this is what more or less what you're getting. As we said, this is merely not a training or a ribbon cutting ceremony. We stay with you till the finish line. What is the finish line? Okay. How many of you wants to learn training for the heck of it, and how many of you wants to seek this training to get a job? I guess most of you want a job, and for the job you need to get training. So if your answer is I want a job, then you should enroll for this training workshop. If the answer is I just kitty party or just to show good to my parents I want training, well, there are dime a dozen videos on YouTube. Just self-learn yourself if you're not looking to get a job. Okay, so career-minded people should come to us, because we take pride in saying we are shaping people, or at least I take pride in saying in the last 20-some years I have shaped careers of at least 5,200 people. Over the next 5 years, we'll be shaping career for at least 1,000+ people, which simply means every year we will be helping at least 200 to 250 people towards getting a job over the next 5 years. Okay, it's our art of giving. It's a dual heritage, right? You've been here for 20-some years, built and sold few companies, fortunate enough to make money. Now what next, right? It's a rude awakening that you cannot eat money for food. For food, we all eat more or less same thing, right? Then, as per the Maslow's need of hierarchy, before self-actualization, you want to be known for your art of giving, right? So that's where you go back as a part of your community outreach and enable people. There is no price tag when you see people who are struggling at once are making a fortune. And you know what? It's karma. When you help others, others will help you. Okay. Does anyone else have any other questions? You can ask us now. Otherwise, we are pretty much done with our session. Going once. Going twice.
No, sir, I'm good.
Okay. Going thrice. No problem. I thank you all again for investing your time. And we will be recording, as we are recording this session, it will be uploaded by tomorrow. Those who wants to get more update, wants to be added in the WhatsApp group, please send an email, training@guruschools.com. The HR will add you. If your email has your contact number included, the HR will follow up with you. Those who wants to enroll, as I said, this training is free for you. If you plan on working for us on our project for at least 3 months of duration, and then this $500 deposit is refunded to you. Neither you're going to become poor, nor am I going to become rich by that mere 500 deposit, but that 500 deposit gets you the focus, get you the commitment to complete the training, because of which it helps you to make at least 150 to 250,000 salary. Okay, so without taking any more time, thank you again all. It's still not too late to wish you all a happy, healthy, and a prosperous New Year 2021. My well wishes to you all, and enjoy the weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.